It's Saturday. You know what that means. It's time to go into the world of full point PPR drafting, the world of drafters. Again, $15 entry fee, $500K to first place, and no pods, no playoff pods at all. It's always a lot of fun drafting on drafters today. We're going to do it. No training camp news update on Saturdays because I refuse to do news gathering while also watching a child. But I'm also in a draft room here. We're going to get it going. I am ready. Let's draft. Took a little bit of time for the room to fill today because I missed the room right before. Had to fully fill this room. So we had to get all 12 spots in, and we have gotten them in. It seems like a lot of regulars in this one. Miley Virus, our guy Chunk the Deuce. Kitten here, our guy Dylan in chat. Magic Sports guy, I feel like is the former FTN owner guy. So interesting mix of this room. We'll see what these guys do together. Of course, on drafters, the biggest changes between this and your underdog is that it's 17 weeks, no pods, no playoff pods. That is the big selling point, the big thing that makes it worth putting entries in. And last year, I put in 9 entries, finished top 110. A lot of people in the community finished top 100, including one guy who finished top 10. It's a lot of money to be made on drafters just because people, I don't think, pay as much attention. Also, less sharp drafters on there generally. Those are the big parts, but draft will be starting in 25 seconds here. And I did, in fact, bring a beer because we are restocked for the weekend. Hooray. So it'll be a great weekend until the beer goes away again. And today it's going to be there you go, full screen for the important reveal of what I'll be drinking. Juice Force Voodoo Ranger IPA, which a hazy Imperial IPA is we're going with. I only want my beers to be Imperialist. I demand that they seize as much country, land for themselves as possible. That's the hope. We got the clock going here, though. Let's see what we do in the 11 hole, my famous 11 hole. Will I get Puka Nacua and Marvin Harrison on drafters? We'll find out today. It would be my fucking luck, though. I bet I can't even get it on drafters. I think the fates just don't want me to have that this year. Oh, Diego's in at 1 and reminds me that's full point PPR. Thank you, Diego. Thank you. Now, Diego, the next thing is that now you have that join button because you're in a stream draft. That's the rules. That's the law. I didn't make the laws. I just unfortunately have to enforce them. So you made it in a stream draft. You took Christian McCaffrey in the 101. You have to hit the join button for $4.99 a month. But welcome Diego to the room. We'll see what these guys do. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey at the 101. Can't be mad about that in a drafters format where it is total points. Getting a guy who's going to be, what's the worst case scenario if he's not hurt? RB5, Christian McCaffrey. More likely scenario, RB1 to 3. And if he gets hurt, all fucked anyway. It's today of the day. To be clear, if I get Puka Nacua and Marvin Harrison on drafters, I do not count that. That is not part of that doesn't solve the issue that I have on BBM. All right, Diego. Good. My sales pitch worked. I'll take it. You'll be joining if you have a good draft. I think that's the way it goes. But if you join on stream, I do have to do a stereotypical Italian accent to welcome you to the family. So it's of course the big trade-off here. Pick coming up. ADP-wise, top pick on the board's Puka Nacua. Who would have thunk it? Who is a regular, who is in stream. I think won a free ticket a couple weeks ago from Drafter as well. Going to give a free one away as well today. $15 entry fee, $500K to first place. All right, he goes Garrett Wilson. We'll do the bit. I'll take Puka Nacua here, and we'll see what Dylan gives me back. Dylan can control if I get my first stream share of Marvin Harrison and Puka Nacua. And honestly, he can take it away. It's his right. I don't want to pressure Dylan either way. The bit's the bit right now. It won't heal me if I get Puka Nacua and Marvin Harrison on drafters. I have to say that out loud. So he can do whatever he wants. What the F, you guys? I'm in Vegas and shocked I can't play drafters or underdog here. Drafters is rough. Drafters really does dick you around. All right, Dylan is... Oh, my God, we did it. Wow, Puka Nacua and Marvin Harrison correlating for week 17 on the site where that is pure luxury. Doesn't really matter. It's correlate for week 17. But we did it, gang. Thank you, Dylan. So kind, colluding with me here on Drafter now. I would say that is a completely fair picks by him at his spot, and I got Puka and Marvin Harrison on a site where it matters so very little. Now we're building momentum. Can we get it on underdog? I think we're live for it. Dare to dream. We did it. We're seeing a moment here. Oh, investigation. No investigation. It's a common combo. It's common for everybody who isn't me, in the world. Maybe I'm drinking too many Voodoo Ranger Juice Force IP. I'm going to start reading the beer like I'm doing an ad for it. And I should just send the clip to Voodoo Ranger and go like, hey guys, you see me doing this great ad on a stream that a couple dozen people watch on a Saturday? Love juicy IPAs, though. There are people out there that believe that people don't like IPAs at all, which is foolishness. I'm legitimately one of the people that loves IPAs. I think that they are an acquired taste. You initially take them and you're like, eh. And some of the ones that are like, your 60-minute IPA kind of ones, I don't know, doesn't do a lot for me. But those 9% ones, 10% ones, juicy IPAs, imperial IPAs, hazy IPAs, big fan of all of them. Team IPA always. Dylan's our man. Dylan's our man. He gave me a taste of a thing I only achieved in the big board. And obviously, I didn't know at the time it was going to be so special. So special to me. Should do a second draft on Underdog just to see if you can run here on a Saturday. No. One draft and done on a Saturday here. It's sponsored by Drafters. I can't be tacking Underdog on here. And of course, support me here. Go and show Drafters that they know this show matters. Go to drafters.com. Use the promo code SPLASH on there. Get yourself a $100 deposit match. I really do enjoy drafting on Drafters. If I had to bankroll this year, I'd probably try to max it. Fortunately, I have to just focus on getting BBM maxed out for myself as I get my startup probably off the ground. Drafters, if you're just looking for a change of pace, it is really a nice site to play on. It is similar to the marathon tournament on Underdog, which Underdog just straight up took the concept from Drafters, which is how business is done. But on Drafters, they were the first site to do it this way. 17 weeks, no pods, no playoff pods, full point PPR. And again, less stressful because you could be in a room like this and you're not worried about getting sniped quite as much because you can lose a player, but you're not having to compete against losing that player the entire year. And I think to me, that's the most frustrating part of sniping. When you get something right, somebody takes your guy and you're like, well, fuck, this guy is now killing me over the course of an entire season. On Drafters, you don't see these teams again. You don't see them again until the finals, basically. Shout out Larry here. Larry's trying to get into the room. I think gotten a little early, so I missed you, Larry, but appreciate you being here. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yes, and please subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. All your little engagements here matter a lot for me. They go a long way. They're big engagements for me here because I'm a solo proprietor trying to make it work here every day, covering a niche thing right now. Maybe in a couple years, best probably less niche, and I can rise with the tide. And then by then, I'll be getting like the views Pete's getting right now. But for right now, hey, I show up and do the work, and I hope that you will see me gamble and win money on stream. I think last year we saw my Drafters team. Actually, my Drafters team was off stream. That was one that I fucked up off stream when Luka was little, and I drafted Mike White in the 20th round accidentally because I wasn't paying attention to the clock. So that was an off stream draft I did last year. But I would like to see a winner come from something I've done on stream, given that we are on draft number 145 for me on the year. I've created 145 stream drafts of content. So the law of averages, right? One of the teams has to be good. One of the big boards, BBMs or drafters teams has to be good, I would hope. Dare to dream. More thumbs, more squirts. That is the rule of thumb and the rule of squirting. Try to convince the wife to go to our local brewery with some IPAs. Yeah, look, I think that's the move. It is a nice weather weekend here, not too humid, at least in the Philly area, thank God. Though it is still going to be 87 today, so might be speaking prematurely. East Coast weather and humidity, the heat and humidity here, my least favorite part of being back home or back in the East. West Coast air and the overcast days both contribute pretty heavily to my joy. We'll see what Who to Thunk It does here. Either way, we'll get a receiver back if we want to do a 0RB build, which, no complaints. Tank Dell goes. I mean, we've got our Rams Arizona thing here, so how can we go wrong? Full point PPR, Michael Pittman making us live to get an AR share later on. Maybe we'll do that. Michael Pittman here. I assume Dylan will go Zay Flowers for one of his picks. Zay would have also been perfectly fine. Honestly, any of the three of Tank Dell, Pittman, and Zay, I would have been happy to get in that spot. Ooh, 110 degrees in Vegas. I don't mind desert heat that much. It's hot, obviously, but so many air-conditioned things, pools, and a lot of houses as well. I like Vegas heat. I just like West Coast heat in general. In Jersey, the sun is blazing. Yeah, I mean, you're basically where I am. So we'll see. I have to go do my usual walk at some point, and I don't know how that's going to go. Zay Flowers comes back to me. Sam Laporta also always tempting, but Zay at a little bit of a discount. We'll do it. Puka, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers. Only way it could have been better is another Week 17 correlation that doesn't matter that much on drafters with Houston and Baltimore if I had gotten Tank Dell. But a Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr. start. Hooray, we did it. Michael Pittman and Zay Flowers as a squad here. So fine start here. 4-receiver start. Live to go full 0RB. Can also go to RB depending on what comes back to us. I'm flexible. What's slider view? Oh, this is I don't like slider view. Here, go back to board view. All right. I've never clicked that button before. Fun to learn new things on drafters here for the first time. There is, I mean, we could talk a little bit about training camp stuff, even though I don't have a full news segment today. Do you think that Jaden Daniels is getting the steam I want to see? Positive camp reports for him again. So stuff that I care about the most, I'm obviously keeping the closest eyes on. Troy Franklin, by the way, really in the mix with the first team with Denver, which I didn't think was going to be happening this early. Happy to see that. There was a long play with Bo Nix that they just missed connecting on. Bo Nix, a 50-yard bomb, I believe, that Nix overthrew him by a little bit on. Still, though, Franklin being in the mix, Nix apparently having a desire to want to show that he is more than just a check down merchant that people perceive him as when he was at Oregon, because he was a lot of low A-dot targets, a lot of timing-based routes, a lot of screens as well. But also, Nix was efficient downfield. He just didn't get a lot of opportunity to do it, whether it was his own tendencies or whether it be the team's scheme. I think, as I mentioned before, like, I think Bo Nix is very competent and able to do a lot of different things that people don't realize yet, including running. Like, he can be an okay runner, not going to be more than like a Joe Burrow type runner, but he can be efficient. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Like, I'm obviously looking for confirmation of priors in general, and also just to keep up and know if I'm wrong about guys, like how to approach them differently. But like Nix, Estime has gotten enough. Franklin's gotten enough. The Washington guys have gotten enough. Even Terry McLaurin has been looking good. I feel like Dotson caught a touchdown. Like my priors are feeling really good right now. So it's one thing I will say, obviously, before somebody gets hurt and upsets it all, I'm sure over the next month and change. For right now, though, I'm feeling like really good about where my takes that I've dug my heels on stand. So we'll see. Ben Sinnott, I guess, is the one that makes me feel bad, but it's mostly people fudding him down. It's not really like anything he's doing. He's working hard. Should go to Philly cheesesteak food tour. Really embrace. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. I mean, I honestly haven't even tried the ones that Alex thinks are best here. It's fine. Like, I had the one expensive one at Barclay Prime here. It was a $100 one that they give you like Dom Perignon with as well. Dom Perignon with. Very good. That's more, you know, if I have some dough, that's more what I would want to go with. I'm sure the local ones are good. Cheesesteaks all kind of taste the same to me with, you know, some little bit of variance. NFL bye weeks really did kill some of the elite QB builds. AR Lamar, Jaden Lamar. Yeah. The week 14 guys together. Shroud with those combos as well. Love that a lot with your pocket passer and your mobile QB. Week 14 buys. I was playing fast and loose with those guys early on. I have a lot of week 14 buys pre-schedule release, which we'll see how those teams do. Be something to look at for sure, because I'll be curious to see. GM, everyone just woke up after an awesome night at a Bush concert. Okay. George Bush. I just got to go see W playing the guitar. See what's going on. What's up, boys? Big fights tonight. Yeah, I was actually catching up with my pal Greg Ehrenberg, who I might have on Splash Play at some point if we do a run of guests in August. It depends on my motivation levels and how things are going with Probably. We'll see how it goes. But he was telling me about the UFC and and just some of their handling of how like Trump enters events, which I haven't seen any of, and how basically they like have him like getting walkout music and shit. Just hilarious. Like the UFC is just its own little island of interesting things that occur. But I just haven't watched that much lately. I feel like the star power has been down at least for me as a casual. AR's here. I don't think I'm going to look the gift horse in the mouth. I'm happy to get him here. We can put the jersey on. So AR, come on down. We got Michael Pittman. I've not been getting a lot of Michael Pittman this year. My best team last year, though, my team that did finish top 110 had Michael Pittman. Fortunately, he got hurt in that end in week 17. So that was the downside of having Michael Pittman. But he was a useful contributor on drafters last year. So we'll see if he can do it again. Jersey's on, though. It's an AR draft. An AR draft with Puka and Marvin Harrison Jr. together? Whew. This guy's cooking here. All right. I think a perfectly valid time to end the 0RB run. I am going to go Joe Mixon here for this pick. I like Mixon a lot. We have Baltimore for week 17, but also just Mixon to me, he is where we get to. It still feels like a hero RB build, even though we're not actually getting a guy in that first few rounds. So I'm happy to do it here. So Mixon is the RB. We added AR, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman, and Zay Flowers. So a nice start here. 4 receivers I feel good about, especially in full point PPR. And some week 17 correlation that I can't get in Best Ball Mania. So it all works out. Somebody in the Splash Play VIP Discord, our guy Artillery Frost saying the Chase Brown drum beat's getting louder. Hey, another guy. Pryor's killing it right now. Priors are killing it in July. Diego saying this is the perfect round to go first RB. I agree. You could certainly push it later. I'm not mad going Montgomery as my first RB. I'm honestly not mad even going, well, James Conner would be the same tier. You could even talk me going to like Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears is my first RB. But I do think this round here, round 6, the historical dead zone. I am not afraid of the dead zone very much this year. I think with where ADPs have moved, the dead zone is no longer the dead zone anymore. It's just a bunch of guys who are starters. We're going to have some role, and the ones who have a goal line role for teams that should get the ball downfield, I think we feel pretty good about. I like something in my eye here, and it's like driving me nuts. So I'm going to look like a weirdo for the rest of this hour. My bad. How do I join the Discord? You have to be a member of the channel, and then you sync your YouTube account that's a member with your Discord account. So it's pretty simple to do. I explain it down in the description of the video, but you got to hit the join button for $4.99 a month, and you get into the VIP Discord, which does have also my news things where I update with training camp news Monday to Friday every day, and then obviously talk about it on stream here. You get my rankings. You also get 10 team reviews a month for me and that VIP Discord. So those are the things you get if you become a member. Support me, and I support you. I lift you up. Why was there only one set of footprints when I was walking on the beach, you'll wonder? It's because Spags was lifting me up with this best ball content. It's sakes. That's what people are going to feel like. Hell yeah, AR, love to see it. Look, Matthew's been here for a while now. He knows the AR days, the AR glory days. But now we've got a new AR. Jaden Daniels is the new AR. So we still find room in our hearts for our old AR. I still love the guy. Still want to get to 16% of him no matter what. I think he's still a good play. Still a strong play. Though I do think the 16% in terms of his ADP is a little more like me just going, I love the guy. I want to honor him appropriately. I think for the rest of his career, I'll probably have 16% AR in every best ball mania as long as he's, walking. As long as his body functions. As long as he's not concussed to death. Did I just hear about Spags nudes? Yeah, there's the nudes as well. The news and the nudes. A little bit of both. I'll throw whatever out there. If they got me to 5,000 people paying $5 a month, I would do whatever. Butthole? Sure. Feet? Easy. Filleting another person? Less so. But, whatever. Jaden Daniels is a better AR. I hate to say it, because, the physicality of the youth favor AR. But in terms of being a passer, he's ready. There's no grading on a curve for me. Like, the one thing I will say, and it's not something, again, this shouldn't really change your priors. It shouldn't be something that affects things, but it goes hand in hand with how I view Jaden Daniels and his accuracy in particular. Every time at training camp, Jaden Daniels is hitting the ball in those little squares in the nets every fucking time. And there's clips of him doing it every day from all sorts of distances on the run and whatever. Like, Jaden is incredibly accurate in a way where I just think it's really hard for him to fail unless he just gets hurt. And hopefully he doesn't. Like, that's the biggest knock on wood in the world. It's just, let's hope he doesn't get hurt. The Spags nudes updated daily forever. Yeah, I've just said a new one daily. Oh man, that's pressure. Even with all the exes I've had, I don't think there was ever a point where I was getting nudes daily. There's actually one girl when I was at Barcelona I never met. Who was in Rhode Island, and very, very cute little Asian girl. Used to send me like nudes every day, like unsolicited. And it's like the dedication of doing that daily was a lot. So more power to her. We do have Kyler here. Kyler doesn't make the most sense for this team. I don't think Dylan's going to take him, though, so I will take Ramondre, shore us up at RB a little bit more. And we'll see. If Dylan takes it unstacked, Kyler Murray, sure. If not, I could take him at a 5-pick discount. Chris is out now. No nudes. I hate to hear it. We had a sale. We had a sale right in my fingertips, and I let it go. Yeah, I think you could talk me into taking Kyler. The more logical move is to take a receiver, but I don't know. Or another RB. Really, there's a lot more logical moves than taking Kyler here. But we would be pretty solid at this point. Differing buys as well. All right, fuck it. Kyler Murray stacked up here, really burning the elite QB capital early on, which is a little bit spooky because it does throw off your team more than it feels like when you're initially doing it. We have AR and Kyler Murray, Joe Mixon and Ramondre, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, and Zay Flowers. So I feel good about the top 4 receivers, so I'm willing to kind of push receiver back a little bit more overall. We've obviously made it up at RB. The week 14 is going to be a terrible week once again, and we're done at QB with AR and Kyler. So I like the team. We don't have a natural tight end fit right now, so we're kind of have to be just skim some tight ends at some point that feel pretty good. You maxing out the smaller fee tourneys on DK. I'm not maxing out anything on DK right now. I just like, again, my bankroll's going to BBM entirely, is it? Like, I just don't have, I unfortunately like have drained my money paying for Probably's bills over the last, year. So that's the downside. I've had to use my bankroll for things that are not entirely best ball. That's why I'm showing my BBM process primarily on stream, because that's the one I anticipate I will be maxing this year, if nothing else. But everything else is just gravy. Did some schnauzers, did some whatever, but just the big tournament for me. Which sucks, because I would like to have more action in other spots. But frankly, this has made me more enthusiastic about every draft. I think just doing one tournament and doing it spaced out in the way that I am. And then I'll hit some more off stream end of August when we have a little more news. I think this has been a nice process for me. So I think it probably will be similar to what I do in the future. But we'll see. Like, I've enjoyed best ball. I feel like last year I still enjoyed it a lot, but I definitely felt fatigue. I know you guys have also talked to me in the past. Like, people have DM'd me, people have mentioned in chat, like the mental fatigue from doing a lot of drafts. And I know some people are doing 1,000 on underdog to hit their gladiator, get rake back bonuses. It is important to keep your mentals right and to still enjoy every draft. So that's what I've been doing this year. I feel like it's been a lot of fun. That's why I also like the draft stalker thing, is like, I don't want that because that makes me enjoy it less. For me, being able just to have my joy be a part of content that I do, and then while also talking about the thing that I love, which is football, I think is the nice part for me. So it's gone well. Obviously, if I had more bankroll, I would gamble more. But frankly, like there was a point when Luke was a baby, especially, like I was just hitting drafts all fucking day while taking care of him. And now he's like a toddler, and I want to be kind of active and engaged with him. So I don't want to be just doing drafts all the time if he's around. It's hard to get the volume in if you're not like sacrificing a lot of time to do it, I think. And I would never be an auto drafter either. Like, that defeats the whole point of the exercise. Anyway, we got some teams, got some picks coming up here. That's my, my heart to heart, my Saturday heart to heart about where I am with best ball. We have AR, Kyler Murray, Joe Mixon, Ramondre. We have Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers. So we need to add more at receiver, need to add more at RB, obviously. Would like the tight ends at some point. Don't have to do it. We don't have to do it yet. We do have to do it at some point. Don't have to do it yet. Thank you for the promo. Shout out, Dylan. We will be giving away a ticket, by the way, at the end here to the Drafters Million. I will remember to do it. I won't quit the stream before it. So that's, I promise, that's coming up later. Njoku here feels pretty nice. Tyler Lockett is wide receiver 5. Does heal us up a little bit. Dylan's got a tight end already. Dylan is very nice to give me any share of Marvin Harrison Jr., Puka Nacua together. That said, I keep leaving him in spots where he's not getting as much flexibility. So I apologize to our guy Dylan for that. I'm aware of it. Even though I'm not sniping you or anything, I am aware of the fact that I'm giving you not great flexibility at your spot. But I would like to take Njoku. I don't think he's going to take Njoku. If he does, obviously not a backbreaker because we're not correlated with it anyway. But with our tight end choices, obviously for AR and Kyler Murray, our choices are either Jelani Woods, who's going to have his workload split by X amount of guys, and Njoku goes to Dylan. So fair enough. We'll go RB then instead. Could go Dallas Goedert. Jerome Ford, obviously I don't mind, though it does feel like his ADP is going to go down a little bit. I'm going to go Singletary just to keep myself a little bit of wide receiver flexibility later on. So we'll add another RB here. Again, technically a 0 RB start, though Mixon feels enough like a hero. You can go either way. We have AR and Kyler here. Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Devin Singletary, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, and Tyler Lockett. Diego saying Javonte. You can have Javonte if he comes back to you. I am team Audric Estime. I think you know that at this point. I'll take some Javonte when it makes sense, but 2 RBs that I like more, who are ranked more highly in ADP, I'm never going to go for Javonte in that click, most likely. Had Singletary and Ford there. Both guys I like a good amount. Dylan went on auto. Okay, never mind. So I would have taken Njoku on that second pick, but honestly, it'll make my RB room better to get Singletary in, so I'm happy to do it. I feel like Singletary, quietly a winner of the Giants offseason Hard Knocks. It feels like a lot more confident Singletary coming from that show than you would have normally. Obviously, as we talked about before, Hard Knocks is just kind of a PR tool for the team, but I do think this Giants season has been fairly candid about process, maybe too much so for guys like Saquon Barkley, who didn't seem happy that his conversation was on the show and they didn't know in advance that it was. But, for the show, like, they have talked nicely about Singletary. I think Singletary in camp so far is doing what he's supposed to do. Nothing too exciting headline-wise for him, but him being a pass catcher, him being a guy they can trust in pass protection to a seat, at least a certain amount. These are all good things for him. You're debating which QB. All right, well, we'll see how it benefits the teams. We do know now that Dylan is done at tight end, so if we want to push tight end around the corner, we're going to have that. Our guy Bindle's here. Happy Saturday. Glad to see you here. Hopping on late. You finally landed the Puka MHJ combo, and a contest for week 17 isn't all that matters. Feels like a consolation prize. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for pissing on my parade here, even more so. But I'm aware. I said that before. When I got it here, I was like, Dylan could have taken it away from me, and I wouldn't have been that mad at him because it doesn't matter that much. But the week 17 correlation will give you a little bit of a boost here in the home stretch when you need your team to finish on top on drafters. So I still think the week 17 correlation, not all that matters for sure, but doesn't hurt your team here. So to have it, I'll take it. Hit that like and subscribe. People join the squad. Yeah, Matthew's our spokesperson here, one of the most positive guys I know in any YouTube chat out there. I'm lucky to have him here for most streams. Appreciate him being here, but hit that join button down below. And you get a lot of perks, including 10 team reviews a month free. My rankings get updated with over 275 player blurbs now. There's going to be a lot of updates I'm going to have to do tomorrow. So I'll be starting that work bright and early. But yes, also VIP Discord. Just sync your YouTube channel that's subscribed with the Discord. You can do it very easily in your Discord settings. And you get access to that channel added automatically, along with Pete Overzet's Deposit Kingdom. I think the general channels get added for you as well, in addition to getting the VIP one with us. Any insight on Labe? They talked positively about him. It seemed to me like he's coming for the pass down role since, minicamp. He was getting first team work in minicamp, getting some passing downs. He's really good from the limited sample size of data that I have from Sports Info Solutions, where he went to University of New Hampshire. That's not a game where you're tracking the data, charting everything for. But the one game they tracked was the one where he had like 17 catches in one game, which is crazy. He grades out well. He's a good athlete, good RAS testing for him. I'm happy with Dylan Labe as an 18th round pick, 20th round pick, I think ideally more so. But good enough signal for him. It's just how valuable is the pass down role for the Raiders? I don't know. Feels like 4 targets a game, 2 rushes, maybe. What we're looking at projection-wise. I don't anticipate a lot for him, unfortunately. But I think he's talented. I think he's a concern for Zamir White. He's honestly he's got a lot of juice. And Zamir White does not have a lot of juice. Zamir White's big, bulky, strong, but juice is not what I would say for him. He's like a 10% avoided tackle rate guy. Lobby is probably the best pass catching back in the class. Well, you do have Marshawn Lloyd. But no, I mean, look, I could look at the numbers really fast and tell you who I think would be the best in the class. Best in the class based on the pure numbers of it. I mean, Labe was an outlier. He had a 1.5 EPA per target in that game that SIS tracked, which is impossible. To add 1.5 points per target when you are Dylan Labe getting not a lot of depth on those targets is pretty nuts. We got a pick coming up here. I'll find out his number 2, though. It's small sample size for that stat for Dylan Labe. We have Trey Benson here, who I'm not the biggest fan of. He does make sense. We have Blake Corum for correlation with Puka. Out of all these guys, I feel like Zeke probably has the best role. But honestly, there's a decent discount on Benson. We'll just scoop the discount. Trey Benson, RB4. Not my fave. All right, Zeke, Eckler here. Pat Freiermuth could give us a tight end after we did not get one before. Would not be mad at that. Receiver, just don't need anything correlation-wise there. Are we done if we take Zeke? I feel like if we take Zeke, that's 5 guys with legit roles. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take Zeke here. I think this makes us done at RB. Mixon, Stevenson, Singletary, Benson, Zeke. Benson, I worry about having a role, which is one thing in a 20-round draft. Could still probably get to 6 here, but I think we're done at RB for a while now. We could try to just get some receivers in this pocket that has at least a few that are worthwhile. So the team so far, AR and Kyler Murray. Where did Aiden Mitchell go? Mitchell went over here to Nerd City. I really thought I was going to get Mitchell or Downs back, and I got neither, which is really shocking to me. So we might be a shitty Alec Pierce team late if we want to go that route. But anyway, AR and Kyler Murray, Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Devin Singletary, Benson, Ezekiel Elliott, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Tyler Lockett. Obviously feel good about the top 5. Wanted to add one Colt on top. Instead, we have a naked AR, which kind of sucks, but it's going to happen sometimes. Tracy later. Ugh. Honestly, I think this team is an Alec Pierce team. Anyway, other RBs who are good pass catchers. Marshawn Lloyd at a 0.4 EPA per target, played a lot more, 11 routes per game, only 2 targets per game, so it wasn't as much volume as you'd like to see. Jonathan Brooks, though, is a real guy who's a world beater. 12 routes a game, 3 targets a game, 0.5 EPA per target. He's probably, in terms of having a safe sample size, he's probably the best pass catcher in the class. Corum, 0.22 EPA, better in the pass game than as a rusher. But he and Ray Davis basically the same. I think those guys are perfectly fine guys. But the outliers would be theoretically Labe, Brooks, and Lloyd. And then the second tier would be like Estime's 0.22, Ray Davis 0.22, Corum 0.22, Benson 0.29. Those guys are all in the same range. But we'll see. That's just, just EPA metrics, just the expected points added metric for those guys in college. Might not mean everything. I have AR Pittman. Yes, I meant for the double stack. I would have liked to have gotten one more guy for the double stack. Is any team an Alec Pierce team? Even the Colts? I mean, Alec Pierce is still running with the first team. Like, it's not like he's ceding the role already to AD Mitchell. Like, they're both in the hunt for it. It's an active competition. Beat writers have talked about it being a competition. So you can make the bet on the other side of the competition. Pierce has, never had a good downfield throwing QB. So, like, if you want to give him cover, that's still it. He wasn't great. The issue for me is, like, he wasn't great that first month with AR either. So I really think that AD Mitchell is more the bet I like. But in a 20-round draft, when you get sniped on AD and Josh Downs, I think you take Alec Pierce there. Use Trey Sermon. That's a handcuff. It's a handcuff play, I think. It could, but I think I still would like a second receiver, ideally. We'll see. It's not a must-have. Big run on tight ends here. Do like Taysom Hill in these formats, the full-point PPR formats. Obviously, an underdog, he's a QB, so we don't talk about him a ton with that, but he's a guy that's basically going to get less QB snaps this year based on the early parts of camp with Clint Kubiak. If that's the case, Taysom Hill is really undervalued because he's going to be getting RB snaps, slot snaps, tight end snaps. Full point PPR especially. He's going to get some runs, obviously. Still get some touchdown equity potentially. Taysom Hill, to me, is quietly a guy that I would have in any 3 tight end build if you can get him on drafters. Like, if that's the build you're making. I would have been happy to have him on the way back, but unfortunately, he does not align for us. All right, we got to make it up a little bit here. Quentin Johnston going down. Adam Thielen, never really the most exciting click. Wandale is an okay one. Wandale being targeted a lot in that short range. I'm going to go, actually, you know what? Because I don't think I'm going to take 2 receivers here. I'm going to go Michael Wilson for 1. And I think the second pick for me is going to be a tight end because we need to start hitting tight end. Hunter Henry, perfectly fine tight end pick. We have the mini bet on New England, so we'll just concentrate that bet a little bit more. Add Hunter Henry on top as again, a play that I do too much. Hunter Henry is my bailout tight end 1 in a 3 tight end build. I do an underdog. I'm doing it on drafters here again. I would like to do it less, but like he really is kind of the end of a tier to me. And he's been getting targeted well by Drake May, getting targeted well by Jacoby Brissett. So Hunter Henry, I think, is a good situation for himself. We got AR and Kyler Murray. Team reviews so far. Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Devin Singletary, Trey Benson, Ezekiel Elliott. So technically an Arizona double here with Benson and also Harrison. We have Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman, of course, stacked up with AR. Zay Flowers, Tyler Lockett, and now Michael Wilson being added to the Arizona stack. And Hunter Henry's our tight end. So that's the team. Do I think drafters will have overlay this year? I don't think so. Let me look at the fill rate right now. They filled like their playoff best ball stuff. So I would have to think they're going to fill the drafters million. It's looking not great though. It's only, I mean, honestly, this is more than 1/4. It's like almost 1/5 filled. And we are basically 5 weeks out. So I imagine they're going to do some more promos coming up, would be my guess. It's possible. It's possible it has overlay. I wouldn't rule these guys out. And I wouldn't rule out, too, that people are just waiting to draft on drafters until they finish most of their BBM workload. I think that tends to be how people go, is like, oh, I maxed out this tournament. Oh, drafters as a promo, I'll do it, like that kind of thing. But a good time to get in. I think there's, if I had to put odds on it, I'd say 60-40 that it does overlay. Evan Hull, better chance taking third down / passing back. They said he's in the work. He and, is it Deion Jackson who's on that depth chart? There's one guy that Hull was working with. Not Deion Jackson. He left, right? Tyler Goodson. That's it. Tyler Goodson is the new version of him. Tyler Goodson and Evan Hull were competing for third down pass work. Sermon more the direct backup to Jonathan Taylor. He's like, if Jonathan Taylor goes down, Sermon's going to eat. But otherwise, who knows? All right, let me go back to the drafters window here. All right, and guys, we got a giveaway of a Drafters Million ticket coming up here, so maybe you get some overlay on top of that. Who knows? Yeah, Sermon more the direct backup, but I think the timing on the chat was off. Just got the best ball overlay yesterday. What exactly does CLV stand for? Closing line value. So where the ADP is right now versus where the ADP was when you drafted it. So how much you lost basically or gained in ADP. And hopefully you used the promo code, Bree. But I trust that you did, but hopefully you did. Been so many promos this year between the sites for best ball. It's been awesome. It's because DK mispriced their tournament and Drafters is suffering from, I think, just too many tournaments on underdog. Honestly, BBM is kind of suffering from too many tournaments on underdog, if I had to guess. I don't think that's going to overlay either, but it's not as filled as it probably should be with 5 weeks to go, if I guess. My man. Bree is my man. Bree submits me good teams, asks for reviews. He's a member. He uses the promo codes. I appreciate you. SCL Bree 101, one of the good ones. Appreciate him. Of course, you're all good ones here if you join Splash Play. And if you just draft teams that don't personally offend me with their lack of quality, that helps. You are promo code horror, and you're a Probably supporter. I guess Robert Griffith III to be the highest tier, where he uses the promo codes, he's a paying member, and he also pays for Probably. That's like that's the platinum tier. If you were in my pyramid scheme, you'd be the top of the pyramid with me. GM number guys, C40. Appreciate seeing all the regulars in here. Love seeing all the badges in the chat. You guys are too kind. I appreciate you all for it. Kendra Miller still here. Just pointing it out. Not really a play that I want to add on. He goes, though, finally pick 178. Did see somebody give me a screenshot where he went at 192 in a draft. Might be a little aggressively negative on him, but I get it. We're trying to make it up at tight end at this point, though I think I could push it around again. Pearsall, deep discount on him. Honestly, this could be a 2 tight end spot. I'm going to get Jonnu here. I might just want to finish out tight end here rather than kick it around because tight end's going to get bled pretty dry soon. Do you have Jelani Woods late? But we're an Alec Pierce team. I think that's been established. Clearly established. You're claiming me as a dependent. Thank you. That's good. Pearsall on the board here. 10-pick discount. It's not bad. Pearsall's going to be back in camp next week. He doesn't excite me terribly much here, but I think he's viable. Likely, we got a little bet on Baltimore. I can do Isaiah Likely here as tight end 3. So we have Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Isaiah Likely here as our tight end room. QBs, AR, Kyler Murray. Of course, I'm wearing the AR jersey. AR's got to be on the team somewhere. Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Devin Singletary, Trey Benson, Ezekiel Elliott. And a wide receiver, we have Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Tyler Lockett, and Michael Wilson. So we're going to be digging for some deep cuts at receiver. But I think now we've allowed ourselves to have basically 4 rounds of swipes at receiver, maybe 3. At least 2, but I think that's where we're going to do it. Just take some shots at receiver late and feel a little more confident with our tight end room being 3 deep. With Kendra news, Jamal Williams become a possible target in 20-round formats, and Diego saying he's his favorite round 20 target. I think so. It's not the most exciting click in the world. I still think that Kendra can dig his way out of this, but how long that hamstring keeps him out, soft tissue injury starting this early in the process is not great. Jerry Jeudy had a similar thing last year, soft tissue injury, and he never really got good. I mean, his health maybe wasn't the thing holding him back as much as that offense, his own talent, whatever you want to say. But it was a thing where he was hurt early, never really dug out. Cooper Kupp was hurt early, kind of dug out. Christian Watson was hurt early, kind of dug out, but then hurt himself again. Early soft tissue injuries. If you wanted to fade him entirely, I wouldn't be mad at you for it, I think, is how I feel about it. I still would have no issue getting some shares of Kendre Miller in the 190s, but he basically is now like a Braylon Allen play, a Tank Bigsby play. He's like a play you should be like kind of holding your nose on a little bit. It's bad signal. Got Breeze, a likely truther here, underrated standalone value and huge contingency potential. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that there is a good shot. There's been enough signal about 12 personnel for Baltimore. People really think that likely can't hit if Andrews is on the field. I don't think that's correct. I think he's going to hurt Andrews' output a little bit. And I also think, too, he's probably one of the best contingent values in the league. We've seen it happen enough times when Andrews goes out, likely comes in and has the same role and is pretty much as good for the most part, maybe a little bit less volume, but still pretty much as good. That's where you want him to be. So I think likely's a fine pick. Wouldn't want him as tight end 2 in a 2 tight end build, but I think as part of a 3 tight end room, it works. Sort of fun seeing all the Rooks profiles with suits and ties like they're running for public office. Yeah, I always like new headshots. New headshots I feel like are always fun on the platforms to have in the mix. And then when they do the silly ones like Jimmy Butler with the emo hair, or there was a quarterback one at some point. There's definitely, I like seeing the fun picks as well. I don't want too many. I don't want them all to be wacky picks. Actually, that would be a fun bit if every player pick was a little bit skewed in some way. Why not AI versions of the picks? I don't know. Do something weird with it. Have fun with it. Real fast again, we did not do the news segment today, but I do think it's worth talking about while we have some time to kill. Jordan Love resetting the QB market after Tua gets his big deal there. I think Tua is settling at $51 million a year. Jordan Love at $55 million a year. Pretty crazy deals, but this is just the expectation now. How it affects everything else. Dallas's price tag for Dak Prescott keeps going up. Josh Allen reports that maybe they want to redo his deal because of the fact that he was meant to be the highest paid QB in the league. Now he's making $43 million. He's like number 7 or something. So it's really a weird time. It's a lot of salary cap going to QB. It's basically what 1/5 of the salary cap going to QBs if you have a franchise guy, which is a lot. It's a lot going there. All right, we're going to dig deep for receiver here. I think Tyler Boyd is really not digging that deep. I think he's a perfectly viable wide receiver 7. So we can live with Tyler Boyd here as one of the picks. No correlation, obviously, but it doesn't really matter. Still think as a Ravens fan that likely may lose a lot of the downfield work if Tez hits. Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it. I think there's enough to go around there, but I get it. Likely has benefited from some downfield work, but it's going to be different downfield targets. Like his are going to be seam routes, whereas Tez is probably getting the outside boundary routes more so. So I don't know if they really would run into each other that much. Obviously, the overall volume could be effective if Tez were an outlier. Don't need a third QB, but I think tacking on Will Levis for free is not a crazy thing to do. They're like, how often is he going to make the lineup? Probably not enough. Rondale Moore, some confusing camp reports for him that make me feel like I don't want to take him at this point. He was working with the third team, but also working with the first team. It's kind of weird. I'm going to go Jalen Hyatt here. Again, just trying to bail out at receiver. Baker is clearly not with the first team right now. He's a fine pick if I had some more New England stuff going. But I don't have a stack. I just have Ramondre and Hunter Henry. I feel like that's enough of a New England bet as it is. So we're going to wait on Javon Baker. If he comes back again, obviously I'd consider him more. Instead, we go Tyler Boyd, Jalen Hyatt. The team is AR and Kyler Murray, Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Devin Singletary, Trey Benson, Ezekiel Elliott at running back. Wide receiver, now we've made up some volume. Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Tyler Lockett, Michael Wilson, Tyler Boyd, and Jalen Hyatt. And at tight end, we have Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and Isaiah Likely. I feel okay about the wide receiver room now. It was a little thin, a little bit late, but I think we have some better and best ball kind of guys. I'm all right with it. And then here, same page, get a giant wide receiver, Hyatt or Slayton. We got Hyatt. Hyatt's been running with the first team in camp a little bit. I think Slayton's still ramping up. It's part of that, but Hyatt's made a touchdown catch the other day. Love played exactly 1/2 a good season and got the biggest deal ever. The issue for him and for the Packers as well is that if he had played that way or better this year, the price tag goes up. and that would not have been where they want to be. They also risked the relationship deteriorating. It's not, I think, they did their thing you had to do, unfortunately, with how he played in the back half of last year. And I would say for me, as I've talked about, was really disappointed with him in the first half of the year, had some like moments, but then for the most part, like just couldn't handle pressure well. He cleaned up the pressure stuff incredibly well in the back half of last year, where he was like a negative 0.8 EPA per drop back under pressure, got to like one of the better marks in the league. I'm going to look it up real fast here on my sheet. Love got to a negative 0.25 EPA under pressure. For a frame of reference, Mahomes had a negative 0.4. Jalen Hurts had a negative 0.33. Josh Allen, negative 0.34. So he went from being one of the worst guys in the league under pressure to being one of the best. And I don't think that was run bad. I think he learned how to handle it better. He kind of added that back foot fadeaway throw a little bit that keeps pressure away from him enough to get throws off more. He added a lot that I thought were really impressive. I'm not like a film guy. I think the data matters more so. I do compare it to what I see with my eye. But I really thought that like seeing the numbers go up and watching him play, the two things really connected for me. And then also stuff too that wasn't there in the early part of the season, like the Luke Musgrave deep play I talked about a lot in the Dallas playoff game. Like that's Musgrave's game. He wasn't getting that at all in the beginning, but because Jordan Love could handle pressure better, knew how to move around the pocket better, then Musgrave is getting it as soon as he's back in the lineup. I think it bodes really well for Jordan Love. I think they got to steal potentially with how QB contracts are going to go. Like if Trevor Lawrence got that money, Jordan Love deserves that money. Less draft capital for him, but talent level, production, I think they're all there. Giants should be playing comeback all year. Possibly. I think the defense will be a little bit better this year. I mean, they added a lot of guys like Brian Burns alone. They paid a lot of money for him. Obviously, I think they spent, overall a little more effort on getting the O-line better, but they've done enough. They lost McKinney, which is not great. Team defense to me, I think their defense overall leveled out last year. It wasn't one of the worst in the league. I think they're well coached. And adding Shane Bowen, who's the former Titans DC, very good move for them. He's going to get the most out of whatever they have, I think. All right, we got 2 picks coming up here. I think the 4th tight end would not be crazy. I am going to take Alec Pierce, though. I think he's still draftable. Not a player I'm expecting to add a lot to this team, but as a wide receiver 9 in a room where I just want to get some volume at, I think he works. So we will go Alec Pierce for one of the picks, which I don't think Dylan was at risk of taking, but we'll pick him anyway. It's fun drafting you. Appreciate you being here, Diego, and I'll appreciate you more if you do follow through and join, my friend. But thank you for being a positive presence here. Diego, the man who taught me all about full point PPR. Now we're here in the same room, and I think he did a good job from the one hole as well. All right, so one more pick here. I think RB would be okay, though our old stalwart Audric Estime is no longer a 20th round pick. We talked about Dylan Labe today. I think that could be fun. Really nothing else AR-wise. I could take Evan Hull, I suppose. Yeah, why not? It's correlated. Maybe a little overstacky, but in the 20th round, I'll take correlation over just reaching for some shit. So final team here is a 2-6-9-3. We have AR and Kyler Murray, so we were done at QB bright and early. We have Joe Mixon. I did get a little bit of a value on Kyler. Joe Mixon, Ramondre, Devin Singletary, Trey Benson, and giveaway coming, guys. Don't leave the stream. Ezekiel Elliott, Evan Hull. We have Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Tyler Lockett, Michael Wilson, Tyler Boyd, Jalen Hyatt, and Alec Pierce here. So a lot of better and best ball guys late, but that's okay. That's kind of the goal of the team. And Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and Isaiah Likely as our tight ends. I think this team worked out well. It's definitely a unique team, but I feel good about the wide receiver room. I think we made up some volume there, in addition to having the early draft capital. Like the RBs as well. Evan Hull was pure luxury, I think, but for a round 20 pick, that's fine. Some correlation, maybe pass down work. It's either him or Labe in my brain, basically. And Hunter Henry, Jonnu, Isaiah Likely, I think make it up a tight end. Could have added a 4th at a 20-round draft, but we're not going to do it. All right, so Diego's a new member. Shout out Diego. He fulfilled his promise. So Diego, you get all the perks. You hopefully know enough by now. I've shilled hard enough to get success here. And welcome to the family, Diego. Diego, full point PPR Diego. Glad to have you here. All right. Sorry, it would be longer, Diego, but I want to get to the giveaway. All right, share this tab. Choosing a live stream. Hashtag Puka MHJ for me achieving the dream here. Puka and Marvin Harrison, the same team. If you hashtag Puka MHJ right now, you can enter to win a giveaway here of one Drafters Million ticket, $15 entry fee for free, and I will put it in for you. They usually get it within 1 day, so I submit them on Mondays. They get it to you by Tuesdays usually. So here you go. Hashtag Puka MHJ. If you want the freebie here, you can see it in chat right now. They got it. Puff McDuff, Ale. Speaking of Ale, good reminder. Ooh. I'm going to give you guys a minute here to get your entries in. There we go. All right, we got to get a lot of entries. This is what happens when I actually remember to do the giveaway and don't exit the stream. I guess we do it better. Streamer going to put it in for us. That's sir. Hey, I'm putting it in for you whenever you want, buddy boy. And whoever the winner is, make sure to leave your Drafters account name in the comments after the video as well, because I might not see it if you leave it in chat. So please do that. If you do win, I'll give it a minute. We got more people coming in. I'll give it a sec. 20 entries, though. Hey, not too bad. 22. Let's go, boys. If you're not a Drafters member as well, and even if you win this giveaway, just make sure to sign up drafters.com, promo code SPLASH, and you can do that as well to get your free entry. So if you're not currently a member on Drafters or not signed up on Drafters, you can sign up, use that promo code SPLASH, and then you can also still get an entry there. Just let me know when you do sign up and give me your username. All right, that's it. I think that's everybody in, right? I think we're good. All right, let's draw. Lucky 23 entries. Hashtag Puka MHJ. We did it, gang. Who's going to get the freebie? Ticking away, ticking away. One of the regulars, one of the newbies. Matthew Prees, who signed up recently, became a member. Things work out well. All right, Matthew, leave me your username in the comments after the video. Appreciate you being a member and glad you won the ticket here. And of course, we got giveaways coming every week here down the home stretch. Another 5 drafts. I'm contractually on for Drafters. And actually, I might ask them if I can do doubles. So I'll check in with them on that because they might need the fill rate anyway. So go ahead, guys. Go hit Drafters right now. Drafters.com, drafters.com. Use promo code SPLASH on there and get a $100 deposit match for yourself. Great way to build your bankroll. And of course, you also get 10 free entries when you enter that Drafters Million. No playoff pods, no pods at all. 17 weeks, full point PPR. A lot of fun on Drafters. Go check them out. Other plugs here, probably my baby. If you want to reach the hallowed ground, the platinum tier of Spags supporters, go to probably.com, use promo code SPLASH on there, or just get a 7-day free trial. 7-day free trials might go away at some point because apparently I was talking again to Greg at Stochastic. Apparently 7-day free trials are not a good thing for them, and they switched it off and it worked a lot better. So go take advantage of it now if you want to check out our product for free. probly.com, probly.com, and promo code SPLASH gets you half off. In addition, the 7-day free trial, the best sports dating data in the business, and also some really cool stuff. We're gonna have deep links on Probably coming up within the next week, so you can actually just click a link and go place a bet on the sports book, which is really excited about. Make it easier for people to transact bets. And Basketball Overlay, if you want to draft an underdog, doesn't work for drafters, but for underdog, basketballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH on there to get $10 off. And it's a great tool. Of course, I use it here on stream every day. Helps me flatten my exposures out and still see the week 16, week 17 matchups that we all need to know. No reading of names, obviously, but here's all the fine folks who joined the channel. Have to add a few more on who've joined within the last couple of days, but they'll be on here for next week. Shout out to all of them for being paying members. You too can join down below. $4.99 a month. Get 10 team reviews a month for me, VIP Discord, and my rankings get updated weekly and will be updated tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a lot of writing tomorrow, so that's my promise for that, for the rankings getting updated. And gamble responsibly as well. Why not? Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at SplashPlayPod. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having fun. And Matthew, don't forget to leave me your username in the comments. I'll see you guys on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. And hey, good luck. Bye-bye.